savers, welcome back to my channel, Notes from Nancy. And tonight I have a pretty ambitious endeavor. I am going to do not one, not two, not three, but 4 videos for you guys tonight, and hopefully get them all uploaded just in time for you to use some of these possibly for your Christmas dinners or for your New Year's dinners. So we're gonna hop right into it, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, it is time for video number 3 of the night. This is going to be my base cornbread recipe. You can use this cornbread if you're going to make dressing, which is actually what I'm going to do with it. Or you can use this recipe if you just want to have it with some greens or beans or soup, whatever you want. But this is the perfect base recipe. Again, this is going to be a strictly Southern recipe. So in this recipe, there is absolutely no sugar. So if you're looking for sugar, it's not going to be here tonight. So if you want to learn how to make this fabulous, moist, and buttery cornbread, just stay tuned and we're going to hop right into it. Okay, y'all. Now for the cornbread portion of my little saga here. My cornbread recipe is super easy, and again, this is a base recipe, so it can be used for just regular cornbread to go with greens, beans, soup, or it can be used as your base for your cornbread dressing. And this will be used for my cornbread dressing. So we have cornmeal, self-rising flour, 1 stick of melted butter, and 2 eggs. And so what I did, I just went ahead and measured out that cornmeal and flour there, so I won't have to do it on camera. And then of course the start of the show is buttermilk. Now this cornmeal is kind of a cornmeal mix. So when some people do cornbread, they need baking soda, baking powder, all that stuff. I don't need that because I use the cornmeal mix, and there are a whole bunch of different kinds. I think one's sunflower, Martha White. Doesn't even have to be name brand. It can be, you know, the store brand, great value. You just want cornmeal, cornmeal mix. So I'm going to get this set up on the tripod, and then we're going to go ahead and start mixing our bread. So before we start on our cornmeal mix, our cornbread mix, I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm going to go ahead and get it in my cast iron skillet. I'm going to cook my cornbread in this skillet. And so while I'm mixing, while I'm mixing up the cornbread, I'm actually going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 and then stick this in there. And so you'll see why I'm going to go ahead and stick this in there so that pan can warm up when we get to the end of the process. Okay, so it's time to mix the cornbread up. And this is super easy. So I'm going to start by taking that 2 cups of cornmeal mix and dumping it in here. Again, this is regular cornmeal mix. Not one of those, this is not Jiffy mix. It is not Jiffy mix, it's regular cornmeal mix. Then I'm going to take a cup of flour and I'm going to dump that in there. So those are the only 2 dry ingredients I use for my cornbread. Now, I am going to take a stick of melted butter, dump that in there, and then I'm going to take these 2 eggs and crack them, and then I'm going to dump those in there. So, cornbread is so easy, y'all. So easy. Alright, I'm going to go grab a fork so I can give these a little beat before I add them in. And I'm just scrambling them basically before I dump them in. Alright. Now, I usually add my buttermilk based on just look. But since I have y'all with me today, I'm going to start by putting 2 cups of buttermilk in here so I can give you an actual distinct measurement on how much I'm using. So I'm going to start. Alright, and so that is pretty much a cup. And I'm just going to start to mix. And I probably should have used a slightly bigger bowl, but I wanted to use a glass bowl, and this was the largest glass bowl I had in the house. I probably would have typically used that green bowl. So that's not enough. So we're going to go ahead and add the rest of that. So that is 2 cups of buttermilk. And just FYI, whenever I can, I use buttermilk cornmeal mix. So whenever I'm making cornbread, buttermilk is pretty much the way to go. So like I said, typically it's not this hard to mix, but because I'm trying not to spill it and this bowl is a little bit small for what I have going on over here, I need to be just a bit careful. Alright, so this is pretty much the consistency that I like my cornbread. There are a few lumps, but that is okay. You can go in and beat it a little more if you want, but a few lumps are okay. When it's cooking, those are gonna settle down. So, okay, so the grease is basically warmed up in the pan. So I'm gonna take that grease and I'm gonna put that hot grease, and it's about 2 tablespoons of it, into the mixture. Now this is going to make the mixture extremely moist, and it's going to help it not stick to this pan, but it's a cast iron pan, so it's really not going to stick anyway. But the oil and also that butter, remember I put a stick of butter in here. That's just the oven. It's actually all the way heated up. I took that pan out of there a little bit before it was done. But this is just going to help make sure that your cornbread is nice and moist. So, y'all, that's it. This is the consistency you're looking for. Maybe like a pancake batter-ish. That's how my pancake batter is usually a little bit thicker than this. But this is basically what you're looking for. So we are going to pour it in this pan. Okay. So I am going to not grab that pot with my bare hand, is what I'm not going to do. Alright. And we are going to pour our mixture into our skillet. I accidentally threw my spoon in the sink, so just went to grab another one so I could get all of this out. Alright. And this is the before. Hold on, I'm gonna move it over there so y'all can see. So this is it right before it goes in the oven. And then in about 40 minutes, I'll know when I'm looking at it. We'll take it out and have a peek at it. Our bread has been in for about 20 minutes, so I was just gonna take a peek at it, let you see it. He's starting to look all good, all tasty. So I'm just gonna close this and let it keep cooking. Okay, y'all, so it is time to look in on our cornbread, and it is looking nice and golden brown. So I am going to just reach over, grab the trusty oven mitt, and I'm just gonna take it out. Y'all, that is so pretty. Alright, if you've never seen nice golden cornbread before, now you can say you have. It baked up perfectly, so I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit, and then I'm gonna cut a piece of it. Like I said, this cornbread is a base cornbread recipe, so you can eat it like this with your greens or your beans, or you can use it as the base for your dressing, and that's what I'll be using it for. The base for my cornbread dressing that you'll see in the next video. So I'm gonna let this cool, and the next clip you'll see is a piece of this wonderful cornbread and how it kind of looks on the inside. All right, y'all, so I've let this bread cool a little bit, and I am going to go in and I'm gonna cut a slice of it so you can see how awesome and fluffy and flaky the inside is. So let's see, can I get it out of here without it ripping up with the knife? Let's see, can we pick it up without it falling apart on us? Yeah, it's still really hot, so that first piece is kind of crumbly. It's hard to get down off in there, but just to let you see how moist it is. And that, the only reason why I did that, like I said, is because it's the first piece coming out, but it looks so pretty. It's so fluffy. Nice, crisp, and like I said, this is perfect as a base for your dressing, or as just a piece of cornbread. If I was serving it just as cornbread, I would rub the top with a little bit of butter. But like I said, since this is for dressing specifically, I won't be rubbing it with any butter because I add butter to the dressing. So I hope you like this cornbread recipe. Nice, simple, truly a southern recipe for cornbread. So I'll see you next time. Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. Hopefully you've learned something from me that helps you as you prepare meals for your family. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to like down at the bottom of the screen, comment, but most of all, subscribe. And if you like this video, share it with some of your friends. Maybe they can learn some tricks and tips too. Until next time, bye y'all.